What's up guys, Sarah X here. Today we're going to be talking about how much I spent on my week-long trip to Vegas. Now, I went to Vegas with about 15 to 18 people, so a lot of the expenses were split between a lot of different people, which made it, I think, definitely cheaper than it could have been. Let me tell you, it was kind of hard to figure out all the expenses because we use Splitwise. This is not sponsored, but I would recommend Splitwise if you have a group of people going on a trip. It's basically an app where you enter every single expense and who was present during the expense. You can do it like rolling as they come in, and then the app will automatically spit out who owes what at the end. It's so convenient, guys. This would have been absolute chaos without Splitwise, I'm telling you. And so I had to go through like all the Splitwise transactions to like figure out what my portion of everything, whatever, you don't need to know about that. The point is, I figured it out. And of course, we're gonna factor in my gambling winnings as well at the end of the video to see what the total price that I paid for the entire trip was. So starting off with flight as per usual. Surprisingly, the only airline that had good direct flights from San Diego to Vegas was Spirit Airlines. And I never fly Spirit Airlines. This was my first time flying Spirit Airlines. It was annoying because I had to pay for my carry-on bag, which I get because the flight itself is cheap, so they have a bunch of add-ons that you have to pay for. The actual flight price itself was $121.09, but I had to pay for carry-on both ways, and that totaled out to be $128 for the carry-ons alone. And then on top, they said it was a government's cut. It's basically just the fee, and the fee was $34.69. So my total round trip flight with Spirit Airlines came out to be $283.78. And then, guys, the biggest pleasant surprise for me was the Airbnb cost. We stayed at this super nice Airbnb. Basically, we had this massive pool to ourselves. Everyone pretty much had a bed, and there was a lot of us. We had pretty high speed Wi-Fi because a lot of us were working from home, so that was really necessary. It was just like, it was nice. It was a nice house, okay? I stayed for 7 nights at this Airbnb and I paid $319.85. That's not bad at all. That comes out to about $45 a night. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the Ubers specifically relating to airport and travel. So the Uber from my house to the airport was $22.81, but then the Uber from the airport to the Airbnb was $48.97, which was kind of annoying. I wasn't expecting it to be that much, and nobody else was arriving at the same time as me, so I wasn't even able to split that with anyone, but it's okay. It's fine. I'll survive. And then on the flip side, the Uber back from the Airbnb to the airport, I was able to split with somebody, and so that was only $18.13, much better. And then the Uber from the airport back to my house was $24.68. So the total airport Uber price came out to be $114.59, which is kind of a lot. And now my next category is actually Ubers while I was actually in Vegas, aka like from the Airbnb to the strip, from our Airbnb to restaurants, stuff like that. And since we split that with so many people each time, basically how we would do it is as long as a group of people were leaving from point A and going to point B at the same time, the total price of the Ubers were split between every single person involved on that trip. So all the Ubers, and this includes many, many Ubers to and from casinos, to and from shows, to and from restaurants, breakfast spots, grocery stores, all of that for me only came out to be $74.64. I'm telling you, if you split with a lot of people, it really does end up making it a lot cheaper. Tell me why my 4 Ubers from the airport and stuff were way more than the billions of Ubers we took within Vegas. That's wild. Now onto one of the fancier restaurants we ate at. Some of us ate at China Poblano, which is a Mexican Chinese fusion restaurant. I've actually never been to Mexican Chinese fusion restaurant. It was really cool. So we got guac appetizer, we got queso, we got salsa, all the fixins. I got a full-on noodle dish, and then I also got a dessert, and my portion came out to be $66.92. Oh wait, that also includes a margarita. I got a pomegranate margarita. And all of that only amounted to $66.92. Like, that's honestly not bad at all considering how much I got. And that one we actually did split by item. A lot of the Other meals we kind of just split equally amongst the group, but for this specific meal we split by item, and so mine was $66.92. That night, one of my friends bought us all this drink that had this little flower thing. I think it's like a buzz button flower that essentially like numbs your entire mouth. It was such a weird sensation. I was not expecting it. She was just like, eat the flower, guys, eat the flower. And then so we all just like popped that flower in our mouth, not thinking anything of it. It completely numbed my mouth. I absolutely hate the feeling of a numb mouth. Like a lot of certain Asian foods has that numbing thing in the foods, and I hate it. It freaks me out. Like I feel like I'm about to die. And so that flower had me thinking I was about to die, and then I barely actually finished the actual drink because of that. But she kind of bought it all for us, and it was an experience. So that drink itself was $24.61 for that one drink that I barely finished. Also, I do want to say I'm not a big drinker. Drinking does not sit well with my stomach. I don't think I'm genetically programmed to be a big drinker. When I say after somebody bought vodka shots for everyone, I had not like drinking all night. I took that one vodka shot. I was unwell. Immediately felt like I was about to puke. You know when you're about to puke and like your mouth gets watery? That's what happens. That's why I don't really drink, guys. And I know that's like a shot, but I don't really like mixed drinks either. They don't sit well with me. And I have just as much fun without drinking. So for some of my fellow friends on this trip, I think that the trip came out to be a lot more expensive because a lot of people drank a lot more and bought a lot more drinks, but I don't really drink. So that definitely cut a bigger expense from my trip. But we did have a lot of group like grocery runs that involved a lot of alcohol that I was split into equally for that. So I will talk about that later. But anyways, one day I went to brunch, this place called Cracked Egg Brunch. I got, you know, just a classic omelet dish. We had some sides. I didn't get any drinks, but we split that entire meal evenly, and so it came out to be $22.94. I feel like it's a very reasonable brunch price. Okay, and then we had a lot of grocery runs because we would have different people cooking each night. So one night somebody cooked us vodka pasta, this boursin pasta recipe. Somebody made like these chicken thighs with rice. Like people on this trip were making delicious meals. I did not contribute at all to that. I just paid for my portion of the groceries. And guys, the groceries for the entire trip, for all of us, for my portion, only came out to be $55.87. That's wild to me. Like I spend more than that on one grocery run for myself. I'm someone, I mean, I think that I eat a lot. I think because I don't drink a lot, I eat a lot. I don't know, that's my justification. So I feel very justified in my grocery spend for this trip. Okay, now moving on to the shared drinks portion. This is the portion where if I wanted to be a Karen, I could have like asked to be kind of opted out of, because I probably had maybe like 3/4 of a White Claw and like a little bit of a champagne bottle to drink. Most people were drinking like cans and packages of beers and drinks and like shots and stuff. So honestly, I probably should have been taken off of the drink charges, but I'm not going to be a Karen. And also I had a lot of fun, so it's fine. So my portion of all the alcohol runs that we had to the grocery stores was $74.24. You know what? Not terrible for a nice little trip with my friends, considering I barely planned anything. I'm like, okay, that's my friendship fee to y'all, okay? Drink away. And then we had a little bit of a mishap where we thought the drying machine wasn't working and all of our towels like fell in the pool when they were trying to be air dried. And so some people went to Target and just bought a bunch of towels for us. So yeah, we had a little bit of a towel mishap that cost me $3.19 for a towel. And there were just some like really small charges. Like a couple people brought their cars. They drove from LA. They brought their cars, and we just kind of are, you know, we kind of split everything evenly when it comes to transport, because if they're driving us, then that lowers our Uber cost. So obviously we're going to cover their gas and stuff. But I only ended up having to pay $2.66 for gas for one of the cars. And then for parking, I think for one of the casinos, I ended up having to pay $1.44. Keep in mind, again, my group was about 15 to 18 people at all times, okay? This one's funny. We had a $5.10 charge for handcuffs. I'll explain. We did a champagne and shackles night. if you don't know what that is, a lot of like sororities and frats or whatever do this in college. Basically, you're handcuffed to somebody until you guys can finish a whole champagne bottle. The funny thing is, the handcuffs that were ordered were locked in the mailbox and we weren't even able to retrieve it. So we ended up just having to tape our hands together anyways. But we still bought the handcuffs, and so that was $5.10 for me. And then on one of the days, somebody DoorDashed a bunch of breakfast for us, and I got like a breakfast burrito essentially, and that was $27.12. That seems like a lot, honestly, and it's probably because it was split evenly and some people got like coffee and other things. So that's probably why it was a bit more. And then we did go to Red Rock Canyon for a hike. I bought some Lifesaver gummies because I was, you know, sometimes you just crave Lifesaver gummies. So that was $3.49. We also mistakenly bought 2 car passes because we thought we needed car passes to enter this canyon. We actually did not. It was just for the scenic drive that we didn't even go on. But we did buy 2 of those passes. Fortunately, it was only $3.66 for me. And then for one of the lunches, we did order some Wingstop. We had some really good wings. Like, I don't like wings. I'm not a big meat eater, but these wings were hitting. The lemon one, the salt and pepper lemon one, I could eat that one all day, every day. So that one was actually only $12.33 for me. I thought it was really worth it. I was out here, I was eating the wings, I was eating the veggies. Okay, and now for the show that we went to Cirque du Soleil Mystere show, which was absolutely amazing. Everyone was gagged. It was so fascinating to watch. I'd been to a Cirque show before with my family, and so I knew it was gonna be impressive, but I forgot just how freaking scary it was to watch these people do all these tricks. So we paid $93.54 each for a ticket to that show. I think it was worth every penny, honestly. Okay, and then on one of the last nights, we catered Chipotle. When I'm telling you, we had like platters and platters of Chipotle ingredients. It looked like one of those like corporate like office events. We had so much food. That came out to be $16.19. We did go out to a bar one night where we had to buy tickets ahead of time. It was a bar called We All Scream on Fremont Street, and it's kind of like ice cream themed. They had ice cream drinks, and the ticket for entry was $13.11. It was super cool. It had like an upstairs outdoor area. I thought the decorations were really nice. So, you know, it's just like, basically it's like a cover that we had to pay ahead of time. And then we also did go to Coney Island in one of the casinos. The casino was called the D, and it had a Coney Island inside. And so I got some fries and a bottled water for one of my friends who was kind of needed some water, let's just say. And that came out to be $5.96. And then at the airport, because my flight got delayed a little bit, thanks to Spirit, it's fine, I ended up getting a bagel from Bagel Mania in the airport, and that was $16.25. Definitely not worth it. I only ate a couple bites. I threw the rest away. It wasn't good. I didn't like it. Maybe because I'm just used to better bagel sandwiches that I get here at Bruegger's Bagels. Yeah, that one was not worth it at all. But your girl did some gambling. We had some beginner's luck in gambling out here. We also have self-control and know when to pull out when we're up. Okay, so I gambled multiple nights. I ended every single night up. I played blackjack, roulette, and craps, mainly blackjack. I think blackjack was my biggest money winner. And I ended up profiting $204. So we will be taking that out of the expense. So drum roll, please. The total expenses of the trip came out to be $1,037.48. I mean, for a 1-week trip to Vegas with some of my homies, I don't think that's that bad at all. I previously thought trips were way more expensive than they actually are. I mean, it's not cheap, let's be real. But it's actually not that bad. Like $1,037 for a whole week of fun in Vegas, I'll take it. But yeah, there you have it. That's how much I spent in Vegas. If you're thinking of planning a similar trip in Vegas, I hope this helped you in any way, and I will see you in the next one.